Alrighty, what's up, YouTube? I wanted to do a follow-up video on yesterday's blog, if you will, about Tourette syndrome and having coprolalia. I may not have explained it properly because I've been seeing some comments where people weren't happy with what I said. I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a 47-year-old man who has lived with Tourette's since I was 6 years old. Now, Tourette's, there's actually two ways you can develop Tourette syndrome. Tourette's is both, what's the word I'm looking for? Hereditary. It can be passed down to you. Also, it can be triggered by a severe blow to your head at a young age. Those are two ways Tourette's has been known to manifest itself. Now, when it comes to coprolalia, I don't have the swearing part. Now, there's two things I want to separate. There are verbal tics, and a part of your verbal tic may very well include a profane word. Like I had said previously, one of my verbal tics when I was younger used to be two birds in a bucket, so fuck it. Two birds in a bucket, so fuck it. I would repeat that usually in sets of three, and I'd get a lot of looks, but that was not coprolalia. That was just a verbal tic, which often you will say a sentence, a short or medium length sentence, but you will repeat it. And that was my verbal tic. Coprolalia, while here's the thing, coprolalia is still, much like Tourette's, not fully understood what causes it. And between roughly 8 and 10% of people with Tourette syndrome do at some point develop coprolalia. However, of those, let's round it off to 10%. Of that 10% who manifest coprolalia usually develop it in childhood, and they usually outgrow the coprolalia. You don't outgrow Tourette's, there is no cure. But the coprolalia you outgrow usually in your tweens or early teen years. So it is not uncommon, but it is very rare for somebody over the age of 18 to have severe coprolalia. And what really triggers me is when you go on YouTube, go on any form of social media, and you look up Tourette's, the first thing you see on almost every video is Balin Dupree, the Tourette's guy. Somebody is swearing. They're always swearing, making it a comedic joke. During COVID, there was a whole rise of people with Tourette syndrome, and some people say they're fake, some people say they're not. I'm not saying anybody's fake. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to call out who's fake and who's not. What I am going to say is people exaggerate the severity of what they're doing. And I'm not going to lie. If you were to give me a couple hundreds of dollars and say, hey, we want you to develop a new tick, I would be like, you're going to pay me money to go, hoo hoo hoo. Okay, I'll do hoo hoo hoo. I'll have a little timer to make sure I say hoo 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 every 60 seconds or 70 seconds. Now, here's where that's a double-sided sword. By you doing that, your Tourette's might actually get triggered, and while you were exaggerating your hoo hoo hoo, it's now a tick that you can't stop because your tick was like, oh, you want to do that? It incorporates it. So some of the exaggerations that people do exaggerate end up being incorporated by the Tourette syndrome, and now they're stuck with it. It's kind of like a be careful what you ask for type of deal because you just might get it. And that's what I believe some of these social media stars that are being put on TV, they're enhancing their, what should I call it? The aspects of Tourette's that get a lot of attention. Somebody shaking their head, people might look at you, no big deal. There's nothing interesting about somebody shaking their head. Now, if I was to go around in public and start, swearing if it was if I had corporalalia doing that, people would not accept a guy my age doing that. But a pretty girl who has no problem showing her bosom on webcam does it. It's an attraction. It's a freak show, so to speak. And what pisses me off, it's not that she may or may not have corporalia. It's a very small amount of people have corporalia, but 95% of your Tourette syndrome media coverage is on people with corporalia. It's like, you know what? Why don't you do an interview on the life of people with Tourette's in their 40s? Because you know what? I haven't woke up one day in the last decade not in pain because I'm trying right now to keep my head from shaking full length because I don't want to break my headphones. But I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm not trying to restrict it. This is what my head shakes when I'm not trying to control it. Now, Now imagine doing that 15, 20, 30 times an hour for the last 40 fucking years. And that's not corporalia. That's me just using profanity because I'm upset. Imagine shaking your head like that for 4 decades. That's going to cause you neck pain. It's going to cause you shoulder pain. It's going to cause all kinds of pains. I suffer from migraines. I suffer from back pains and neck pains. And it's not because I misused my body, which, yeah, I've done crazy things when I was younger. It's because I have Tourette's and I can't control. Doing my arm shakes, I don't do the arms straight out as much as I used to. I have mainly the head ticks and the facial ticks. When I'm having a really bad time, my shoulders will go or I'll start getting the vocals. And having Tourette's for 4 decades, and this part might help some people with Tourette's if you're still listening. I have what I like to call my tick fits. Like before I go out, I'll go in the bathroom or I'll come in a closet and I will go through all of my ticks. I'll shake my head, I'll shoot my arms out, I'll hoot and holler, and that gives me a physical release of my Tourette's. And if you have corporalia, I would suggest you incorporate something like that too. Sit here and let it all out. Just swear and everything. Even if you don't feel the tick, do it so it's kind of like a cigarette break. So when you're done, you can get 30, 40 minutes. And I've seen a video where somebody else had spoken about that, and she was very correct. Some people said, well, I see you can go a little while without ticking, but then you tick. If you can control it then, you can control it all the time. No, you can't control it all the time. We possess a very short, small window where we can repress the ticks to the best of our ability, and it comes with a cost because once you get out of work, like if you have to go for an interview, you can try your best to like not tick. And you got to focus on it, not tick. And as soon as you get out of there or you go to the bathroom, you're ticking and everything and you're letting loose. And usually the next day or two is going to be really bad on the ticks because you repressed them for that day, for that short period. It's like, it's like you take a cup of water, fill it up with water, put it on your hand and hold it upside down. All that water is now rushing to your hand. Move your hand, boom, it all just comes right out. That's what you're doing with your Tourette's, opposed to just slowly pouring a cup of water and your ticks are able to come out at their leisure. When you hold them in, they come out and they come out a lot harder and a lot more intense. But anyways, I'm rambling. I do have a habit of rambling. I'm at 9:37. I'm going to try to keep my videos under 10 minutes long from now on. So thank you for watching. If you have questions, please leave me a comment. I will do my best to answer them. I'm not a doctor. I do get stuff wrong, and I apologize if I do get stuff wrong. This is just my life experience. Peace.